Hello there survivors, today I'm going to show you how to build this beautiful little elven bridge in ARK Survival Ascended using the Elven Structure Skin custom cosmetic. It's actually a really simple build, but because of the variants of the elven skin and especially the curved steeper pieces that you can make with those, it gets a really nice effect. So I wanted to show you exactly how you do that, and of course you can make this bridge as long or as short as it needs to be for wherever you're building this. If you enjoy seeing build tutorials like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and of course feel free to leave your suggestions for builds you'd like to see down in the comments below. So building this bridge is actually super simple, and it's mostly about knowing which skins to use. So no matter what kind of gap you want to cross, whether it's a river or a ravine, pillars are probably going to be your best friend. And then we want to raise it up by, well, how high you want to go, I guess. It doesn't really matter. It's more about what you want to cross than how high you want to go. But for this tutorial, I'm going to go too high at the very least, just because that's going to make my life a lot easier. And we're going to go too wide with these ceilings here. Once we have this, we can, of course, go to the next corner and place down more pillars and continue on our way. And for the tutorial, I'm just going to make sure that I have 3 parts to this bridge, but of course you can make it as long as you need to for whatever you're trying to cross. So yeah, we want to make sure that we have all these pillars going down into the ground, you know, whatever you need to make sure it is all supported. And at the very end, of course, you can either add stairs, or if it's a little bit lower, I like to do these double stairs because it looks a little bit more rounded, but it only works if it's not too high at the end, because otherwise it's a little bit awkward. So yeah, again, depending on your landscape and your terrain, you of course want to add some stairs at the very end so that you can get on and off the bridge that you've built. We want to take out the trim and tiles structure set of the Elven Cosmetics, and that's the one we can use on the stairs as well as on these ceilings. So that's going to be like the main bridge material, because I think they look quite fancy. Although if you prefer to just use these stone ones, you can of course definitely do that too. Then here underneath the bridge, we want to add a layer of quarter walls, just as some extra details here. And we of course want to do that for the entirety of the bridge that we've got. So we want to just go all the way across from one side to the other with all quarter walls to add in some nice small details. And then we want to take out our shallow slope walls, and we can actually add them underneath here as some supports and to create some nicer shapes here. Of course, we can definitely do this for both sides of our bridge. And yeah, we just want to have a nice pattern like this. Then we can take out our stone structure set of the Elven skins, and we can change these pillars into stone pillars all the way through everywhere, just like this. Then we can take out the trim set again, and we can place them here on our quarter walls. You'll see we'll get this lovely detailed texture that we really like, and we want to have all the way across. And then on these ones, we want to take the white ornament set, and we can have some of these shapes underneath, which again look really nice. Of course, you're free to switch around these materials to the dark wood if you prefer the look of that, but I think this already looks quite nice. And then for the pillars, you could leave them like this, but I find there's actually some really nice variants in here, and especially this double one, which makes the top a little bit wider, I think look quite nice. So I would use that for all of these. So there we go. This is the start of our bridge. Now we have the actual like platform you walk over, but of course we want to have the nice decorations on top of these. So we take out our pillars. We want to raise each of these to be 2 high in total. So all of these we want to raise up like that, and then on top of that we want to have half a pillar to finish those all to the same height. And again, this of course will spread out through the entirety of your bridge depending on how long it needs to be. Then we can take out the modular structure set, and that is what we're going to use here on these pillars, and we'll get these awesome modular pillars that have some really cool designs to them. And of course we want to apply them to all of these different pieces. And then here on the middle one, you want to switch the variant to the middle pillar, and of course we'll do that everywhere. And once we've done that, we can already see that this is starting to look very, very nice with these pillars. Now we need a bit of a temporary structure. So we're just going to add 2 of these temporary ceilings. We'll get rid of those later on, but for now we just need the snap points. From those, we can add these sloped walls. We can also make them go up like that and connect them back down. And actually around the side here, you can continue this all the way through. So we want to have these slope walls continue all the way through from one side to the other. And then here on top, we want to take out our roof corners. We want to make sure that we have a nice point here at the front, and then we can start connecting them up just like this. And again, you can continue this for the entire length of your bridge all the way to the end, and at the very end you can make sure that it sticks out again. So we'll do the same thing over here. And of course, this means we can do the exact same thing here on the opposite side. So yeah, we want to make sure that we continue this all the way across to the other side as well. And we want to make sure that we keep these same patterns going. Oops, make sure to place them in the right way, and then all the way till the very, very end. Of course, on this side, we also can still add in these sloped wall pieces all the way following the side of your bridge. And at the very end here, we also want to make sure that we add in those. And of course, we can do the same thing at the very end over here, just to shape up the building. And once we've done all that, we can take out these temporary ceilings because we no longer need them. Now the next step is to take out these light ornament sets and start changing all of the roofs as well as all of these sloped wall pieces, which will instantly, of course, transform the look of the build. It's not quite finished yet after we've done this because it's not nearly looking as nice as it can, but this is definitely getting very, very close. Yeah, I just really love the textures on the ornament pieces here. It's really nice details, very elven feelings to me. But I guess you could also use these for different types of builds if you just want to have some nice gardens. That's all the pieces applied. Then we want to go into the variant. So over here, you want to go to the slope wall and you want to change the variant to the arch. And I'm going to use the variant cycle tool to speed things up, but you can use the menus, of course. And you want to change all of these variants to these arches, so they are very smooth from the sides of the pillars all the way around. And we want to do that for all of these different pieces, just like that. And then it's time to change the variants on the roof. So we're just going to cycle through the different variant options once. All of these will have their curved pieces. They also have their steeper curved pieces. That's the one we're looking for. So you want to change variants twice for all of these roof corner pieces. And that's how we're going to get a much steeper curved roof, which is very nice. And it's a really cool variant, of course. You can do this just by changing the variants that we've applied. And this is how we get that nice shape to our bridge, which is probably why it looks a lot cooler than it actually is, because it's very simple, as you see, to build. It's just because of all these awesome variants that we can really transform the shape to the next level. And this is really why I wish we had some steeper pieces in ARK itself. Now that we have all these arches, of course, the slope walls are no longer fitting here. So if you go through all of the variants, you will get to the right one that will fit with these steeper roofs. And that's the one we want to use here, so that the look fits the shape of the roof. And to be fair, the pattern on those is just really, really nice. So definitely a nice addition to any elven base or any like garden where you want some nice and beautiful bridges. This is how you do that, because once we've changed all those variants, we have a lovely bridge, and then you can make this, of course, as long as you need it to be. I think it looks really nice. I love these roof pieces, and it's a nice and easy way to add some awesome details to your base. So just to show you what that could look like once you've built that up somewhere on location, this is crossing these waterfalls here. You can see the nice patterns, the curves of the roofs, which I think is really nice. And just repeat it until, of course, you've crossed from one side to the other, which is really nice. The only change here is that it starts with foundations, because that's the height that I needed. And then, of course, you can see the ceiling and the pillars bit right there in the middle. So that's the only part that changes, but the rest, of course, stays exactly the same. We have those nice curved roofs and those nice arches underneath it. So yeah, that's how you build this beautiful elven bridge in ARK. So hopefully you enjoyed this build tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and of course, as always, feel free to leave your suggestions for future builds down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.